What I have found after so many times of just feeling like I'm starting over in whatever aspect of life is one thing, if you can just find one way to change anything, whether it's changing your own attitude or perspective, the words that you use, it's anything outside of the norm that you can change at that moment of time, even the little things can shift the energy. Even a small shift can sometimes help you to get music as a way on so many different levels to shift stuck energy. In resolving that, it's actually resolving something inside of me.
I'm Vicki, and I'm Dawna, and it's your time.
This is Vicki, and it is your time, and I am here with my lovely co-host Dawna. And today we have a special guest, and her name is Mary Richards.
Yes. And don't say that she can turn the world on with a smile, but
But
she
she
really can. She
can.
really can. I'll bet she gets tired of hearing that stuff, but yeah. So, and Mary is a beautiful lady that we met through Ann Tucker's, our get-togethers. And she has gone through a really interesting life, and she makes wonderful music. So we wanted just have you guys hear the story, which maybe open up some things for you, and especially the music. So, welcome, Mary. So glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
So yeah, so we have kind of like your life story here. It's very interesting, and she has said that she reinvented herself, which is something that we all do over and over. And but this is really an upward climb and a continued upward climb for her. You were talking about how the family you were born into, and then when you were 4 years old, things started opening up. Can you start there?
Yes. So I was born into a very large, devout Mormon family. So I'm the fourth of seven children. However, I am the firstborn daughter. So kind of a very interesting mix there, being firstborn daughter, but also being the middle child out of seven. So that definitely had a lot of influence on my upbringing. There's a lot of early childhood conditioning and programming to fit in with how you're told you should be within that religious group. I would say, as soon as I could talk, I was asking a lot of questions. I specifically remember at 4 years old, though, asking about reincarnation. I didn't know the word for it, though.
And
But
I find that fascinating because at 4 years old, how do you even think about past lives?
Yeah, right.
I, yeah, I knew that this wasn't my only shot. Like that you don't really just die, but there's a lot of different forms of life. And so I just remember asking my mom about, well, I always asked a lot of questions. I know I drove her crazy with the amount of questions. And I learned, though, at that age that there were a lot of questions that weren't safe, that it was not safe to, certain types of curiosity were not safe. And so there were certain parts of myself I had to really learn to lock away at that point in time. It's not really that I wouldn't say that my beliefs really changed, but I really had to bury a lot of that stuff way down. And I know a lot of us go through our own type of conditioning. I feel like I was born with a lot of just inner knowing. And it that also could be the same for many people. I think that it's about how young were you when you really had to push that down.
Right. Right.
And I find it really interesting. You said that your grandmother said that you were like a regal baby. You just had this air about you as a baby.
Yeah, she said, "You're just the most graceful baby." And my nickname from my parents was Angel. I was the only baby that got the Angel nickname. And apparently, I just didn't cry much. I was just observing my environment. My whole life, I've been told I have really intense eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of times where people will tell
I've
me,
told you that.
yeah, yeah, I've heard it my whole life. It's almost like just I've thought a lot about it just because of how much it's come up. And there's something through the eyes. I know the eyes are their own energetic center, but it's almost like it can make people who are very, I don't know, sometimes people are very comfortable, or it can make people really uncomfortable. It's a very
Right.
polarizing kind of thing.
Right.
I just found myself drawn to your eyes the very first time
Yes.
I saw you. They
Yes.
were just amazing to me. I don't think it comes across nearly as much over Zoom as it does in person,
I think a
but
little. Well, only because I've seen it in person, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, and it's also the concentration. Gee, like a lot of people, as I'm speaking to them, I'm always looking in somebody's right eye. I don't know why. But and as I'm talking, I look all over, and while Mary is talking to you, she is very engaged with you, and right here in the moment, in the now. And so I think that's part of what it is she
Mhm.
doesn't look
It's
away.
part of your magic.
Yes, it is. It is magic. It really is. So yeah, and then you had said that you were able to go to college though, even as a girl in a Mormon family. Is that normal? I don't know. Maybe it is.
Yes, yes and no. So I guess I could potentially upset people with this, but there's a
Ah,
lot of mixed messaging. So education is said that it's really important, but there's a lot of other things that are considered more important for the women. And while the education, it might be said that that's important, what's even more important than that is getting married and having children and being at home with those children.
right.
So when we look under the surface, it's with that kind of programming going on, it's really not that important. And if you're making that the most important thing in your life beyond finding a husband,
Yeah.
it's not looked on well at all. So I, I knew I'd go to college. So I started off and I just remember my dad telling me that, oh, you should go into accounting because like every, well,
It's a
I guess
it's a
kids.
girl thing to do.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm like, accounting? I can't think of anything more boring. I like
really.
that's just not for me. I am glad there are people that enjoy that work, but I just knew right then I'm like, there is no way. I don't even think I could sit in this class and want to keep going to school.
I hear that. I hear that. Yeah.
So what drew you to archaeology?
Well, I took my first anthropology class. So
Oh,
archaeology is
anthropology.
a subtype of anthropology. So
Yeah.
at an undergraduate level, it's always an anthropology degree. And then once you get into a graduate level, it could still be anthropology, or they may be splitting off cultural anthropology from archaeology.
Okay.
But I started off, the first class was a cultural anthropology class, and just everything made a lot of sense to me. I was so drawn into it and just loved learning how other types of people do things without a judgmental lens. Uh, it's just observing, viewing, and comparing. And it, I mean, anthropology is really just the study of humanity. What does it
Yes.
mean to be human? And that was a question that I pondered even as a child. In the back of my mind, it was obsessed with people watching, but what does it mean to be human? That question is one that just always was in the back of my mind over and over and over again.
That's great.
You were a very deep child.
Yes, very.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but now, I mean, when you think about how that steered you, down a certain path. Well, and also you had said in college that there were some things that stopped you pretty much dead in your tracks for a while, um, stopping you from going on to your PhD.
Yeah, so I just planned on, so if you're going to do that kind of track, you have to get a PhD to have a career in that. At a bare minimum, a master's degree for archaeology. If you do just a master's, then it's really just contract work when there's construction. A lot of times they'll need a archaeologist on site if anything's found.
Oh, this is good. I've never heard all of this. This is great. Because I
So,
love
so
anthropology.
as an anthropologist, what kind of careers are there besides, professors, besides teaching?
Yeah. Yeah. So the first cultural anthropology class that I took was with a professor who had also had a career doing consulting for businesses, international businesses, where let's say it's an American company, they're doing business somewhere in Southeast Asia, and you have different business norms. And you could have a large business deal go very, very wrong if you don't understand the cultural business context of this foreign company. So there are a lot of different ways that it can be applied, but yes, a majority is in research. There was actually an anthropologist that lived down the street from me growing up
Ooh,
and really had caused it to be on my radar. So I was in high school and she was helping a lot of refugees that were coming in. Uh, from a lot of different cultures. She, I believe, volunteered or was doing some kind of project with the International Rescue Committee. And
wow.
so uh, I was in her home several times when she was working on kind of being a liaison of some kind and helping them in this program. And so I had a lot of interaction with them and it felt wonderful to me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it sounds like you were looking for something that was interesting, but also that you could help people. It sounds, that's
Or at
what it
least
sounds like.
understand people.
Well, I understand too, but
Yeah.
the idea that this other teacher was helping people and that was what kind of drew you
Mhm.
to it, I think, yeah. I've always wondered why I was interested in that, not just that you want to go dig up dinosaur bones, there's more to it. There's a lot more to it than that. But and so in you were going to get a PhD, but then or I don't know if you ever did, but as you were going for it, that was when things changed.
So I'd gotten really sick during college. It's like I'd gotten a flu and then never really got better. It just, my body was just so off and on, not doing well. Shortly after I had finished my undergrad, I really had a bad turn where I'd gotten really, really sick and was just in and out of the hospital for a month. Uh, and then finally got some help and discovered there was some autoimmune issues going on and was able to get that at bay. But in light of that, I realized that pursuing graduate school in archaeology was not going to be the best decision. I wouldn't be able to do my favorite part of it, which is the field work, because now I had an autoimmune issue that was really, really triggered by the sun.
Oh, wow.
I mean, among other things, but had to be really careful with the sun exposure. And I'm like, well, if I don't even get to really participate in the best part, what's the point? And so then it was this push to, well, this is what I love, this is what I want to do. So what am I going to do now? I didn't lose hope. I was a little bit frustrated though, but it's like, okay, well, I have to accept that this is my life right now. And so where do I want to go from here? And so it was an opportunity to discover something else.
So what brought you to this something else? I mean, what is this something else that you discovered?
I have tried so many different things. No, many, many, many. But if we're talking about the most recent something else, then more recently I have started just using music as a way to process emotional stuff. The venture into music actually really started with frustration in parenting. I really felt stuck in my home life. Everything just felt stagnant, blocked, like just really frustrated and trying to figure out how do I shift this energy? How do I change things? I feel like there's nothing else I can do. What can I do?
And this was after you had had your child?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yes, we can bounce back to that.
Oh,
But
okay, let's do that. So, yeah, when you were 26, yeah.
yeah, so at 26, I had uh, my son, who I had had dreams about 10 years prior to that, recurring dreams that started at 16. And I wasn't sure at the time what to make of it, but because of it being recurring, I knew that it was significant and it didn't feel like other dreams.
Mhm.
Right?
And at this time you had said that you didn't really feel like you wanted to have children.
It was more so I didn't think that it would happen for me.
Okay.
Ah,
And so I never really got to the point of really exploring, do I want to or do I not to? I just thought it would never happen for me, so I'm not going to make that part of my plan and be sad about it.
Mhm.
But that is not what ended up happening.
Surprise.
Yeah, so at 26, I had the surprise of my life. And my course was changed significantly with the birth of my son. He really, really made me explore what was working in my life and what wasn't. That was when I first really started asking myself deep questions around religion.
ah,
I had before, but there was still, even at times when I would physically separate myself from my religious upbringing, there was still a mental bond to it.
Mhm.
It was this, yeah, it's this mental prison because I had been programmed so well in my early childhood.
right.
And so it was a lot of just, it wouldn't matter how well I was doing. It was feeling like a failure because I had failed the family expectations, but then also knowing that that life was never going to work for me. It
Right.
was what I
Right.
Mhm.
wanted. So knowing that I could never fill what they needed and wanted me to be.
What they expected you to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was my son that really snapped me out of that. I had my epiphany at one moment, like it was just a lot of back and forth, even when he was young, of a foot in, a foot out, a foot in, a foot out, um, getting away and then feeling a lot of shame, and
Oh.
then just the whole web of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point I was working a lot with just the children within the church congregation. My son, I just I started realizing like, oh my goodness, this is so unhealthy, and I'm helping to program other children in a way that, and it was just like the light bulb went off for me, and I'm like, nope, and was like, I can't do this anymore, and never looked back that way.
Oh, that is good. Yay.
I can see the purpose that it filled in my life, that that was a part of the experience that I needed to have, was learning how to not just walk away, but to fix that early childhood programming. Instead
Right.
of, I've noticed other people that walk away from high demand religions or maybe even culty groups that a lot of them will spend all their energy angry or just really focused on, I was done wrong here, I was done wrong here.
Mhm.
Right.
I am so glad that is not how it went for me.
Good,
Yeah.
It
good.
was it was just like I'm free. I can explore all of those thoughts that I had to bury when I was so young. I am safe now. I can explore these. And I just went on data collection mode.
Experiencing, thriving, trying to find what resonates with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was started with this deep dive into vortex mathematics. Uh,
Wow.
and
That's
I started
heavy.
listening to every lecture I could find by Marco Rodin. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but
No.
Oh,
Is he a
okay.
math guy?
Yes.
That's why I don't know
that's why you don't
him.
know. The only math guy we know is Robert Edward Grant and
Which is
Leonardo da Vinci.
interesting because a lot of this stuff that he talks about has been beautifully repackaged from a lot of the stuff that Marco Rodin was teaching. I want to say early 90s, maybe, but I could be wrong. He might have started before then, but I don't think that any of that knowledge though belongs to anybody.
Mhm.
Right.
It's
Oh, yeah,
they'll all
no.
Right.
say like you find it, and
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just to be discovered.
It's
Yeah,
discovered. Yep. That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Wow. Interesting. So, and where did that take you? The vortex mathematics.
it just seeing how beautifully the numbers and the shapes and just how beautifully everything worked together, seeing the patterns. And then it became so much that I'm like, okay, we're gonna hit pause on that, although I still love that. And then just exploring so many different things. One thing though that has just been so important to me my whole life is music. I feel like that's one way that I survived different aspects of my upbringing,
Right.
was just music. And I've always had just, there's always some kind of backtrack going on in my mind, a little song, whether it's one that I've heard or one that I've just made up.
What
So,
what age were you when you actually started to produce your music?
oh wow. Um, so I'm trying to think. That was in college was when I first started playing around with just mixing software.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
maybe
wow.
2021,
Okay, all right.
but I didn't do a whole lot with it. I was trying to have some fun with it, but there's a lot of work at that point in time with where the software was at then.
You're right.
How
Right.
much effort you had to put in to get results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now with a lot of the AI assisted tools, you can get some results a lot quicker. You can still use other tools and build upon different things, but you can make it a lot quicker, or it can go as slow or as quick as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. And
And
speaking of that, thank you very much for the AI stuff that you did for our podcast. We use that a lot. We appreciate that so much. And in case you guys didn't know, this is Mary Richards who did the AI things that we have the intro and the extra.
Mhm.
So
My name
yeah.
is Vicki, and this is It's Your Time.
It's your time. That's right. That's right. I even put three of the shorter ones together, so we had like a little rap thing going on last week.
It's your time. It's your time.
It's
It's
your
your
time.
time.
It's your time. It's your time. It's your time. That was cool. Anyway, so yeah, so music is mathematics, and mathematics is music. If you ask me, this is I don't do a lot of math, but I understand that music and tone. There's a lot of things that are going on now where people are learning humming, and like I'm going through learning Egyptian tone healing, I guess I would call it, from my guides and those that choose to come to me in meditation. And when you said that you were kind of listen. I forget how you introduced it, but to me it's as though you read a person and then it comes to you. It's kind of like a person's soul song. That's how I look at it. I don't know how you look at it, but because I see it as something that you could sell this stuff. You could, you could do a person's soul song, and.
I view it as soul cymatics.
Ah,
Oh, I like
oh,
that.
that's
Oh, I
beautiful.
love cymatics. Oh, that is so cool.
That makes so much sense.
Because I'll see, so I've always loved poetry, so it's funny. I feel like even when I'm under hypnosis, a lot of times there's rhymes and stuff coming through, or just there's always this poetic sense about things. With the, yeah, with the soul somatics. So it first started with I was asking in meditation, asking my guides over and over again, like, can you just tell me what my soul name is? I'm supposed to be able to ask and get this. And I just never was fully satisfied. It didn't seem like I was really getting any kind of definitive answer, nothing that felt definitive to me. And I was getting a little frustrated. So this was over the course of several years. And
Mhm.
then finally, I had this epiphany,
Yay.
and I'm hearing this guide just kind of chuckling. And it's like, you already have it. It's what you were named. Okay.
More.
And then I just started slowing down my name in my mind, and I'm hearing it more like a mantra. So that was the first mantra like song that I created
Mhm.
based on a name. And when I would close my eyes and make the sounds, I would see the colors and where the energy would move within my body. And it's like, oh, this is my soul signature. These sounds make, there's a signature to this.
There is definitely something that listening to your music brought up inside of me.
Oh, me too,
Yeah.
definitely. So, well, can we play? Is it time to play? Oh boy. Let's play
Sure.
the first
Okay.
one. I think this is it. The first one that yeah, here we
And is
go.
this yours? Your your soul song? Your soul somatic?
I would assume that's the one you're going to play first.
Yeah, it would be the first one. And, just a little bit so we get the idea.
Yeah.
Maria
That is so cool.
That
I
is
love that.
beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that is
It
unbelievable.
just makes you want to sway to it.
It does. It makes me, and mine made me dance the first time. I was sitting down and I ended up standing up and just
I started
dancing.
crying when I heard
Well,
mine. So.
the first time I
It was,
cried, yeah, that is just so beautiful. And I guess the other question I had is that the first thing I asked is that your voice? Because you have a beautiful voice. And you said, well, some of it's me and some of it's AI, so I wasn't sure if that was your voice. That's
No,
okay, but
no.
okay.
So the vocals are not. So the way that I did these, it's interesting because I would hear it in my mind, and then it's like, okay, how am I going to create this? So I used some AI tools and then just started building, and I just kept going and going and going until finally it felt right. So I had the words first, I had an idea of how the music should sound and especially how it would feel. Because I had a couple of early renditions and it's like, no. And then just knowing where to bend the music from there to make it feel right.
Right, right. And it is reminiscent of, I think of like Egypt, Atlantis, it just seems ancient. Like, and it's maybe even some kind of light language, because the sounds that what is that, a language, or is it you're just using sound,
So
alphabetical?
that song has both Sanskrit and English in it. I don't think
Ah,
I've gotten to the English part yet, but
no,
Mhm.
we didn't get to that. Oops, sorry. Well, we don't want to play the whole thing and have people
No, that
just
wouldn't be good.
keep it. We don't want them to keep it. We just want them to have the idea. Well, I mean, unless you want us to. Did you want me to play more, or because we have Vicky's song and my song?
yes,
So
no, we
yeah.
can move on to the other songs. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I
So
love blending languages. So in every one, there is a blend of English and another language.
okay. And so Vicky's is English and
Vicky's
one.
is English, and I think it's Gaelic.
That's what I. Yeah.
which is which is very funny because that has come up in the last couple of days very prominently
Yes.
within me.
That's right. Okay. So here we go.
Made me cry.
Wow, that gives me goosebumps. Oh my goodness. And Avalon, that's totally you.
It is
Oh my
now.
gosh. Oh wow, that is so good. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It makes
that
my
one felt
heart beat.
so different to me than the other ones that I've done. Actually, so the three of us, these are the only ones that I've done or
Oh really?
or even
Oh,
attempted to do.
Oh wow.
oh wow. I'm gonna cry.
Well, they
Oh wow. That is so
well
cool. Oh.
do you really enjoy doing this? Is this like something that when you produce this, do you feel a creative
Boost.
satisfaction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I've done a lot of different songs. I've done a lot of it's ancestral healing with songs. I've used it in parenting to help diffuse difficult situations because I found I could make funny songs about daily kind of tasks for my child, and it would be a smoother way, a
Mhm.
happier way to talk about you need to get ready for bed and you need to do the basics. But if I could put it into a funny song, that life was better at home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So, Donna, what about a
Yes.
little bit of your song?
Okay, let's see here. Donna. It's my full first and middle name.
Yeah. Well,
That's
that
what.
was mine,
Oh,
Vicki
was
Sue.
it? Vicki
All
Sue.
of
Yes.
them are.
What is
Yeah.
your middle name?
Sue.
Sue. Okay. Did
I
not
am
know that.
just Vicki Sue.
Okay.
That
All
is
right.
that is how I came out.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm Donna Lynn, so here we go. Let's see. Whoops. Got to turn it up. Hold on. Turn it up and start over again. There. Makes me want to dance.
I am unbreakable. I am unchangeable. You can't shake me. I am the breath of the dragon. By my breath I speak only truth. From the truth of all things I create, the one truth flows through me. I am Danalim.
Wow.
It feels very Egyptian-y.
It does, and well, a little bit of it has a little to me. It reminds me a little bit of like Rome or even before that. You know, soldiers walking that sort of because I've had past lives of that, and it's very Egyptian to me. But and that was Sanskrit and English, right? I think you said.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's Sanskrit and English. Uh,
Oh, wow. I'm so warm inside when I listen to these. It's like,
You have just
what a
just a
gift.
special gift. That was the
Yes.
word I wanted.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, we all have our gifts, but for it to come out in music is emotion also. You know, it comes from mathematics, but it's emotion. To me, it's what brings everything together
Music
in
touches
human.
every soul.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So beautiful. So yeah. So and so you just do this just for fun, right? That's
yeah,
wow. That's
there were a
so
lot of
incredible.
songs I did prior to that that were going on this journey of my own emotional healing.
Mhm.
And even before that, emotional healing for my ancestors.
Oh, yes.
So I have a lot of songs that are about their trauma.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, I hadn't thought of doing that in song. That's great.
That would probably be helpful to a lot of people
Yeah, it would. That would be very helpful for people to be able to listen to
because
and release, you
yes,
know.
because a lot of people, a lot of souls right now who are awakening are carrying their lineages to clear out,
Right. That's right.
to heal.
Well, and even if you just play them, that's going to work on the collective to me, I would
Mhm.
think. Even if people don't hear it, it's making an impact. I
Yes.
can definitely feel that. So and because of, the music that all of this brought you up to this point where you're doing this beautiful music, and so your journey with your son is kind of an interesting uh, part of your life too, to me. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that.
If 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 I could just say one thing about your son.
Only one thing? There are so many.
Nah, just one. It's like I was having a dream, me and my dreams. I was having a dream, and I was just laying like on the couch, and all of a sudden her son pops in, and he's like looking at me, and he just kind of wants to sit next to me and stare at me. That was the weirdest thing ever. And so I texted her and goes, does Shane do this to a lot of people? They just pop into our dreams.
He,
That
he
was just so
pops
funny.
he pops in. I haven't had a dream of him, but the first time I remember actually sort of getting to know him, I was staring at some birds, and I could kind of feel somebody was over here, and I looked and there was nobody here, and I kind of zoomed in. The energy was down the road, down the row, and I looked, and it was him, and he was staring at the birds. So I just kind of talked to him with between that kind of connection. That was it. I haven't spoken to him that much in life, but I know that he has a very, very great relationship with Gail, a lady that we have, the animal. What does she do?
The animal
Animal
intuitive.
intuitive that we
Mhm.
have interviewed before, yes, and that they probably knew each other in a past life. But what interested me the most, I think, was the one thing that got me was when you said that he was telepathically connecting with you when you were carrying him, which other women have said that, but I haven't heard in such specifics as you talk about. So could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, of course, there was him announcing in a sense through dreams 10 years before he was born that I'm coming, essentially.
Well, he just told me he was here.
Yeah.
Just in my dream. I'm here.
He was trying to make you be seen, I think. He wanted you to be seen, Vicki. That's what I feel. I don't
Well,
know if
that
that's
was
true.
interesting.
I don't know if that's true, but anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, well, maybe I should loop to that and then we can loop back to the pregnancy.
Okay.
So when Vicky had texted me about the dream, I, it was in the morning, I'm getting ready for my day, and I just started laughing so hard because the night before, he had just casually asked me if children can be on a podcast.
That was it. Just casual. I don't think it was casual. I think it was very planned.
Right.
That is so funny. I love that.
So I'm laughing. It's like, oh, here he goes again.
Oh, that is so funny.
And
So, yeah.
then after he had gotten home from school, I was trying to ask him about it. So first I started off because I wanted to make sure that he had the correct name and face for Vicky. So I asked, "Do you remember who Vicky is?" I should know better because he has an impeccable memory. He goes, "Of course, I'm going to be on her podcast."
So, yeah. So, I guess he is. So, all right.
He's a kid, man.
He is.
He
He
is
is.
something.
He is amazing. He is amazing. And this is happening with a lot of young people that were born with, much more advantage in some ways than we were, I think. I feel like it's, an advantage. So anyway,
Well, yeah,
so yeah.
when he came into your life, I'm sure you didn't try and stifle him.
No, in fact, I saw so much of me in him. So there was this lonely part of me that just didn't, that he filled something there. But when I was pregnant with him, he really had an opinion about the music that I would play. And so he would let me know if there was something he wanted more of and if there was something he never wanted to hear again.
And how
Wow.
would he do that?
So first it started off just with a lot of movement, and then he started, I guess I wasn't getting the memo quite right.
It takes
And
a
so
while.
then he started sending the message telepathically to me. There was one where he was moving a lot, and I thought he didn't like that music, but he wanted more of it. And so he started letting me know.
That is so great. Oh, wow.
So he also has this connection to sound like I do.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
I
so
can
can
see
I
that.
ask how many months along were you when you started to get this knowing that he had opinions?
Hmm. Right offhand, 6 months
Okay.
came
Wow.
into
All
my
right.
mind, but I don't know if I entirely remember, but that's what's coming to mind about
Okay.
6 months long.
Wow. So he knew, and he has a specific reason to be here, or he just wanted to be with you. Do you know? Has he ever said?
Uh, he said a lot of little things here and there.
Little
So
things, okay.
it maybe that'll be something to ask him when
That's what I was
he
going to
comes
say. Could
on.
we ask him that? Yeah, we should ask him that. How he got to be with you and why, and if he knows. Yeah. So that's going to be very interesting. I've never interviewed
And it would be
anyone
okay
that
if he
young.
were to be on a podcast.
Yeah, he's pretty determined. So when he wants something and he's determined, it always seems to happen.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
They used to say that about me. Actually, everybody says that about me. Yeah, that's well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a
There's
good
nothing
thing.
wrong with that.
It's a good thing to know what you want and go for it. Yeah. But it seems that he has a little more power in manifesting things, I guess. Is that true? Or is it just regular boy stuff?
It seems that way. I
Yeah.
mean, from my perspective, it does seem that way.
Okay, yeah. So, is there any other kind of stories with him that come to mind that you think people would want to hear before we have him on, whenever that is? I don't know when it's going to be.
Because one of the things I want to bring up is people who have children now and people who will have children, they're coming in differently.
Hmm.
And they're going to be giving you messages, and be open to them and realize that they are messages and not just weird things going on in your head.
That you're not crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The women need to know that too, I think. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was a very different child. And so a lot of these things just didn't surprise me because I recognized them in myself.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
My husband, though, wasn't used to these kinds of things. And so I think he was constantly just wondering if we were having little side conversations in our head that he wasn't a part of. Uh,
Oh.
but which is probably true. We have no idea.
Right.
Um, there have been so many times though, and my son and I will confer. It's like, no, like we said we wanted this, or we said thank you, or whatever. He's like, you did not say it out loud. I'm like, I heard him. He goes, I heard you.
So, oh yeah, that could be difficult from the other side. I never thought of
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
I think though, for my husband, when he really started realizing what was going on, there were just so many times our son just surprised him. A lot of times it would be in a frustrating way. So he would go to clean up his toys while he's gone to school, trying to get rid of stuff. Always way too many toys, right? So he'd find the ones that hadn't been touched in years, back of the closet kind of thing. My son hasn't seen them in a long time. He would bag them up, um, put them in a donation pile completely out of sight. And my son would get home from school, and what's he doing? The first thing he's asking about is that toy he hasn't talked about in years. He
Wow.
hasn't
Of
seen it.
course.
And this kept happening over and over again, or even if it wasn't getting rid of something, it might be reorganizing stuff and something being put somewhere else. But whatever that item was, that's the first thing that my son would be asking for when he'd get home from school. And so I finally looked over at my husband and I said, "Are you thinking about that in your mind when he's coming home?" And he goes, "Yes." I go, "Stop doing that. That's where you're going wrong."
I was gonna say he's picking it up from his dad. Well, his
Yeah.
dad's trying to get rid of something of his.
Because he'd
Yeah.
be thinking, "I hope he doesn't notice that this toy is gone, or I hope he doesn't
Oh,
notice that I put this in the back over here." And sure enough, he'd pick up on that, and that's the first thing he's asking about.
Wow. Wow.
that's funny.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, there and that could be a whole other podcast in itself, just talking about
That kind of
what
stuff.
yeah, the things that he so and I he just is he's just like that. I mean, it's just it's just who he is, right? It's not anything that you planned or that you as you were pregnant you were trying to talk to him or anything like that. It's just this is the way it is now, I guess, with a lot of children. Some are more prominently open about it. And does he talk? Has he talked about any of his past lives, or is it just that he knows what you're thinking and you can speak telepathically?
He's said a few things, but I'm sure you'll have opportunity to ask him more about
Okay,
that.
okay. He'll tell us
One
about it.
thing, like if I were to mention something that might be helpful to someone else
Mhm.
with a similar child, there's so much culturally and in society that we use to program our children. So when I think back, there's so many things I was able to change just because I remembered how I was and what was frustrating for me growing up. One thing though is we push our children to, maybe not everybody, but I feel like culturally, okay, you need to eat all of the food on your plate
Oh yeah.
instead of teaching them, "Oh wait, I'm full now. My body is fine. I'm not forcing that stuff." I could move on to gratitude. "You need to say thank you. You got this gift." I remember my son telling me one time, "But I'm not thankful. I don't like it." He was young. He was really young. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." Even something like that, though, forcing gratitude on them when they're not feeling it right then, there's a break in authenticity.
Yes.
So
That's
early
true.
on, that really struck something in me. And then I decided, wait, we just need to practice finding gratitude and then expressing that when it does feel authentic instead of forcing it. Because then we force this disconnection, and the sensitives always pick up on that disconnection.
Mhm. Mhm.
How interesting, because I would not have even thought that stuff, but it makes total sense.
It does. And I grew up as a sensitive person. My dad was a sensitive person, but I think Shane is a higher level. I don't know, higher, larger. I'm not sure what the word is, but he seems to. And I've known a lot of sensitive people. He seems from to me to know within himself. He doesn't get upset if he's overstimulated from what I've seen, but I've only seen him for 4 hours ever, probably. But is that something that he just knows, or is that because you allowed him to find these things on his own?
So, when we talk about sensory stuff, I think something that's important to recognize is in very sensitive people, it can go two different ways. You can be someone, and this can be separate with every single sense. you can be seeking stimulation because you're understimulated in that sense.
Hmm.
And you can also be avoiding stimulation because you're easily overstimulated with that sense. So sometimes there's been friction at home because I tend to get easily overstimulated by everything from smells to lighting needing to be just right to sound. For him, a lot of things he's seeking more, seeking more. So it's just a very different flavor of it. The one thing we have in common, though, is our bodies both prefer really nice fabrics.
Ah, I do too. I like, soft. I can't. There are some that I guess it's polyester, but there are some that you touch and it just feels awful. And my that was one thing about my dad we used to tease him about. That oh, it's just him being things that were velvety. If it was fake velvet, he couldn't touch it.
Oh,
And
I'm that way too. Yeah.
and I look at that and say, well, it's fake. That's why. The regular plush velvet, it didn't bother him. But so I look back on these things and I think, my dad was that. I'm that. But and people again all my life, oh, you're just too sensitive. No, I'm not too sensitive. I am sensitive. And so that's kind of what I would say about you or about Shane. But other people look at it, in a different way, and it's nice that you're presenting it kind of in an open way, like you said, non-judgmentally. This is because this is who he is, and this is who you are. This is how it goes. I love that. That is so cool. So, wow, we have been through so much here. Was there anything that we didn't ask you about that you wanted to pass along, kind of like a last word?
I have one thing coming to mind. So maybe this will be a good way to wrap things up. So I stepped into the music as a way on so many different levels to shift stuck energy. So many different ways of doing that through humorous music, through music honoring ancestors and giving them a voice for their pain that they had to push through and not really feel. But I know that in resolving that, it's actually resolving something inside of me as well.
Hmm.
Remembering who we are on a soul level too, and just fully embracing and accepting that. I've had so many times in my life, though, where things felt hopeless, things felt stuck, and being at a breaking point where I cannot go on another breath with the way things are.
Right.
I'm sure many of us, if not all, have had a moment or moments like that. And so the big question is always, well, what can you do about it? Especially when it seems like everything is outside of your control.
Mhm.
What I have found after so many times of just feeling like I'm starting over in whatever aspect of life is one thing, if you can just find one way to change anything, whether it's changing your own attitude or perspective, the words that you use, it's anything outside of the norm that you can change at that moment of time, even the little things can shift the energy. Even a small shift can sometimes help you to get out of a rut.
Yes, yes, that is so good. Oh, wow. That is so wise.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for all this. Vicki, did you have any other
No,
questions?
I was just kind of wondering if you thought music, if you had ever thought about, selling your music, and if that's something that you would feel comfortable doing.
I haven't given a whole lot of thought to that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
I
But
just I just
whether
wanted to
it's
bring it up in case you had.
Yet's good. Yet is good. because I have a feeling it's
It
going
is
to be
beautiful.
something.
It is,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a beautiful experience.
And I feel so honored that you shared these with
Mhm.
us, that, and that you felt, you felt our ancestry, you brought all of that through. And that's, wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
and so we will at some point have Shane on. That would be great. I would love to do that. As long as if you can be with him, just so, I mean, a parent needs to be present, I would think. So
He's
if
probably
not,
going to tell me to go in the other room.
well, as long as you can hear what's going on, I guess it's okay.
I was going to say, as long as you're here to show
Yeah.
yourself, and then
Yeah, and
on
then
the
you
other
can
side
go
of
in
the
the other
door.
room. There you go. I love that. So that's so many things, so much to be excited about with the Richards family. Thank you so much.
I am so, so happy that we finally got you on.
Yes, it took a while, and Vicky's the one who put the stamp on the deal, because we've been working on this for a while.
I cornered her and she couldn't get away.
It's all about timing.
So thank you all, and thank you all for staying, and please like, share, hype, and enjoy. And it's your time.
It is your time. And thank you again, Mary. It was lovely. Beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
It's your time.